got. Listen, her and Katie Porter have similar tempers. Look, there's a part
She
of
doesn't change though. This one doesn't change, man.
No, but she's a. Look at this, folks. Watch this. Watch this.
Congresswoman Pelosi, are you at all concerned that the new January 6th committee will find you liable for that day?
Great hair from this angle.
Are you at all concerned about the new January 6th committee finding you liable for that day?
Watch this. And
why did you refuse the National Guard on January 6th?
uh-oh.
Shut up. I did not refuse the National Guard. The president didn't send it. Why are you coming here with Republican talking points as if you're a serious journalist?
The American people want to know. We still have questions.
Of the journalist.
I love
Watch
her.
the smile.
Hi.
I know I got a clip.
She got a clip.
I love her.
That's the beauty of journalism.
She got it. So, Vinny, what are you thinking about this with Nancy Pelosi?
She's lying.
Don't you have the clip? Like, don't you
I
have
sent
the,
it. Yeah, Rob,
you
I
have
think
it?
I sent you the clip of her. If you just put Nancy Pelosi turning down January 6th. Look at
Was this the one in the car?
Stephen Sun.
In the back of the car?
Stephen Sun, who was the chief of Capitol Police, said, and Rob, you could put Stephen Sun on top of that as well. He said multiple times, Patrick, he kept asking. They knew what it was going to be happening. They knew it was happening, and they kept denying it. Then the FBI had to admit recently they had 275 FBI agents walking around. Some other guys. Bro, let's just stop playing games. Not us. I'm talking about the Democrats out there. You know exactly what happened. They set everything up. They wanted it to be mayhem, and then they started shooting paintballs and all that stuff into the crowd to make it happen because they wanted to use it to keep Donald Trump out of the White House, and it backfired. This is her. This is Nancy Pelosi, the shut up, yelling, angry lady, denying the National Guard. Go ahead, Rob.
Inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard having them.
Boom. And Stephen Sun, Rob, if you could look at this
What does that
guy.
mean? She takes responsibility. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, this is it.
This is a tweet from Nancy
Ma'am,
Pelosi.
it's long past to be honest with the American people. On January 3rd, I requested the National Guard assistance on the 3rd, 3 days before, but your sergeant at arms denied it. All right, under federal law 2 USC 1970, I was prohibited from calling them in without specific approval. And again, he says your sergeant at arms again on January 6th denied my urgent request for over 70 agonizing minutes, running it up the chain for your approval. So some would say, Pat, that they were like, you know what, guys, let's let this thing freaking burn because this guy is still going to be a threat and he's still going to want to run for president. It's unbelievable that what they did, and all of it is starting to unravel. And I hope to God she gets freaking held accountable for what she did. She does, because she's at fault. She's at fault.
So, by the way, she's 85 years old,
Yeah.
okay, where she's being called out. Now, this is Mitch McConnell. Mitch
Oh,
McConnell
man.
is simply trying to walk. At least Nancy can walk. By the way, I don't know what it is to be 83, 85, but there's a president who's 79, about to turn 80, and he's doing fine walking. It's everybody ages differently. Here's Mitch McConnell. Go ahead, Rob. It's tough to watch because you can tell his knees are buckling.
And they let him go right here. Like, guide him. Look, he needs the guy. Like, why'd you let go?
His shoes hit each other. No step. Nothing on the floor. His two shoes bumped
I feel
into each
bad.
other.
Like, you feel bad for the guy.
That's so sad.
Excuse.
Get up and smile.
And
Why don't you just leave the business?
They keep out.
Go,
You know what?
sit on
You know
the
why?
sideline.
Because they want to
Enjoy your
Can I
grandkids.
finish though? That is they don't want to let go of that power. Them, the Chuck Grassley's, the Nancy Pelosi, and the one thing just to go back about January 6th, what infuriates me is what they did to all those people. They knew what they wanted, Pat, and they put so many people in jail, like in solitary confinement, because they wanted to make an example. Don't ever question us. Don't ever go against us. Or grandmothers that were waving a flag are going to go into jail. People that weren't even there got put in jail, and that was their attempt to shut any freaking dissent. Anybody that wants to fight back for America because they know we got cheated, they try to, and they did. They ruined so many freaking people's lives. They have police records for the rest of their lives. Insurrection. It's absolutely horse. January 6th was such a freaking sham. I had somebody message me the other day about the thing with the Lincoln Project. Remember, January 6th was worse than 9/11. Shut up. What was his name?
That was
Steve Schmidt. Get the hell out of here, bro.
Your boy
Guy
Schmidt.
connected you?
No, not him. Somebody
Steve Schmidt connected you?
Some guy goes, that's how I found you, and I downloaded him in neck to let you know that you ruined that guy because the January 6th stuff is coming back up.
There's two issues here, and both of them are in plain sight. January 6th was a sham. There were over 250 federal agents that were actually facilitating or agitating themselves. You have Nancy Pelosi in the car. You know, it's not AI. That video's been out there, so we all know J6, and hopefully we get justice for the Americans that went to prison and the things that happened. And our president came out quickly with executive orders. Big help. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for all that. The second issue is in plain sight. Is look at the condition of Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell. They're holding on to handlers. That's tough. The way, and I'm not going to pick on age. They are suffering the natural progression of an aging person.
Yes.
It doesn't make them bad. It just makes them very old. And the people that are keeping them in power, Vinny, I want to give you just a little calibration on it. It's not them, although it is them. It's the apparatus that's around them that's using their votes in this industry, that industry, and is using their power to get the things they want. Mitch McConnell does not look like he's read a 20-page congressional briefing on a key piece of legislation in a long time.
Yeah.
He has had slurring issues. He's had almost what looks like he's
Stroking
starting
out.
to have a stroke. It was terrible.
Yeah.
You know what? So if you should take a tip, government of America, from corporate America. Corporate America, why are they concerned about the vitality of their CEO and their board of directors? Because they owe a return to the shareholders.
Yes.
And the shareholders have a habit of suing directors if they don't do it right. Check this out. Most the majority of the S&P 500 have a policy of 70 or 72 years old for directors on their boards. Did you know that, Pat? majority, so more than 50% of the S&P 500, say at 70 to 72 years old, you need to retire your board seat. We're going to put somebody else in there. Target used to have a mandatory retirement age of 65 for the CEO. They just recently extended that. Just to hear some examples. IBM had a 60. They encouraged at age 57 the CEO to put in a transition plan. Age 60. That was followed to the letter by all the CEOs up to and including Sam Palmisano. Ginny Romnetti was doing well, first woman CEO of IBM, and her transition plan went to specifically 63, so it was about a 3-year plan, but at age 60 it was in place apparently. She retired in 2020. And then the current CEO, Arvind Krishna, is now over 60. However, there's already discussions about putting the plan in place. And the director retirement age for IBM is mandatory by the 74th birthday. So why is it that corporate America takes a look at the aging that says, are you still a good advisor? Yes. Are you still a healthy person with vitality? Yes. But are you ready for the rigors of the 18-hour workday of being a CEO?
If that applies to, Fortune 500 companies, why does that apply to the Fortune 1, which is the United States of America?
Thank you very much.
And why, would you approve, or would you all agree that when it comes to government, when it comes to the people that are making decisions that affect our lives, at 65, every year, the ones that are making the Chuck Grassleys, having mental acuity tests. I'm talking about, record them. I want to see them take a freaking test. And if you don't pass, you're out. If you can't answer simple questions and you're not there, and you need somebody, by the way, if you need somebody to guide you and walk you around, you're not there. And I'm sorry, you're making decisions that are going to affect my life.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I don't know about the mental acuity test, but the biggest test that they have to pass is, do the voters want to vote for this person? And in the case of Mitch McConnell, this guy's 187 years old. How old is he? This guy's obviously not there.
Believe it or not, Pelosi's older.
She's older.
Okay, the Pelosi's 84 years old. But the point is this. There's a difference between being 80 and completely cognitive and healthy. Trump is 79, doesn't sleep, works his ass off. Yep. You're not going to get me to tell me his age is a factor.
That's a Big Mac.
Nancy Pelosi, as much as you may disagree with her or not like her, she's still all there. Mitch McConnell's 83 years old. The guy's barely functioning. It's weekend at McConnell's out here. And this is elder abuse. And the people of Kentucky continue to vote this guy. He's the longest standing Senate majority leader in, I think, U.S. history, 18 years.
No,
so
I'm done with these guys.
What is the most powerful predictor in our elections? One word.
What is it?
Incumbent.
Okay, exactly.
Statistically speaking,
yeah, you're right.
It's the most powerful word.
Listen, with age comes wisdom. I get it. But, Maxine Waters is 86. Chuck Grassley, I want to say, is 95 years old, something like that. Nancy, we just said 84. Steny Hoyer, I believe, is 85. Bernie's 83. Bernie still got it. Yeah. Trump still got it. But what they're doing to this guy McConnell is absolutely
embarrassing. Remember Dianne Feinstein? She was basically dead. And they just wheeled her into Congress.
She actually had died 3 years prior. They forgot to tell her.
They didn't tell her mother. She's in there voting. And you hear her assistant. Look at her. God rest her soul. But her assistant had to say, Mrs. Feinstein, say yes. And she went,
But it just goes to show you, Tom makes a great point. People to go into the voting booth. And if you ever try to vote in any sort of election, bro, you need to have a master's in politics to understand what's even happening.
We got it. They're old. God bless them. Everything is fine. Future looks bright.
You vote for an old person like that?